Have you ever looked into her eyes and felt like you were no longer seen? Not just unseen, but unfelt. Like your presence didn't move the room, didn't register in her soul? You say the right things. You try. But somewhere, without warning, something shifted. Something silent. Something cold. And now, you wonder, does she even respect me anymore? Welcome to the channel where we dive into the unspoken truths about men, masculinity, and the realities no one dares to say out loud. If you're tired of surface-level talk and want to understand what truly shapes the modern man, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because today's video may just change the way you look at every relationship you've ever had. This isn't about anger. This isn't about revenge. This is about clarity. It's about seeing what's always been there, hidden in plain sight. The subtle signs of disrespect, the ones most men ignore until it's too late. And by the time you finally wake up, you've already given too much of yourself to a woman who stopped valuing you the moment you started begging for her approval. But let's rewind, shall we? It starts with charm. Attention, smiles that feel like sunshine and laughter that wraps around your ego like a warm blanket. You think you've found someone who sees your soul, who lights up when you walk into the room. But slowly, invisibly, things start to change. The warmth fades, the attention dulls, the respect begins to erode, not in loud moments, but in the quiet ones. When she stops looking at you, when she starts laughing a little harder at other men's jokes, when you speak, and her eyes glaze over. Here's the brutal truth. Disrespect rarely announces itself. It doesn't march in wearing red flags and sirens. It creeps in through silence, through convenience, through your tolerance of being overlooked, through your fear of confrontation, and most dangerously, through your need to keep the peace. In the Roman Empire, respect wasn't something a man could ask for. It had to be earned daily in how he walked, how he spoke, and how he carried the weight of the world. Men who lost respect were either demoted or destroyed. The battlefield wasn't just blood and steel. It was perception. If your enemies saw hesitation in your eyes, you were already dead. Today, that battlefield has shifted. It's no longer swords and shields. It's texts and silence, eye rolls and withheld intimacy, passive aggression and mocking tones. And while you won't lose your head, you just might lose your mind. You see, men don't always know when they're being disrespected because they're conditioned not to notice. Society tells you, be nice, be understanding. Happy wife, happy life. But what if that happiness is built on the grave of your self-respect? It starts small. She makes a joke about your job in front of friends. You laugh it off. She flirts with another man in your presence and says, "You're being insecure." You let it slide. She talks over you, cuts you off, or makes decisions without you, and calls it independence. But here's the question no one asks. Would she do that to a man she truly respected? Because respect isn't just about what she says. It's about how she acts when no one's watching. When there's no Instagram post to share, no public audience to perform for. Does she speak to you with reverence? Does she consider your time, your goals, your energy as sacred? Or are you just convenient? A placeholder. A man she keeps around because he's safe, because he's predictable, because he doesn't make waves. There was a time when men were feared not for their violence, but for their presence, their stillness, their code, their refusal to tolerate anything less than full respect. They didn't chase. They didn't plead. They simply left and let silence do the talking. Today, men have traded that presence for performance, for approval, for likes, validation, and emotional availability that's turned into emotional submission. But don't get it twisted. Vulnerability doesn't mean weakness. True masculine vulnerability is about standing in your truth, even when it shakes the ground. It's about saying, "I will not let you treat me like this. I will not betray myself for the illusion of love." When a woman stops respecting you, she'll test you. Not directly, but in subtle, corrosive ways. She'll push your boundaries. She'll ignore your leadership. She'll compare you to other men, or worse, make you feel like you're somehow less than. And every time you let it pass, you reinforce the message. I don't need to respect him Because he doesn't respect himself. And here's the paradox. The more you try to earn her respect by pleasing her, the more she loses it. Why? Because she's not attracted to the man who bends. She's drawn to the man who stands firm. Not a tyrant, not an abuser, but a man of non-negotiables. A man who values his own soul more than her temporary affection. There's a reason the lion doesn't explain himself to the sheep. He doesn't ask to be respected. He just is. The world responds accordingly. And so must you. This isn't about dominating a woman. It's about reclaiming the throne of your life. If she doesn't respect you, it's not your job to teach her how. It's your job to walk away so that your absence screams what your presence no longer could. But before you walk, you must see. You must recognize the signs, the eye rolls, the indifference, the loss of warmth, the dismissive language. The you're being dramatic every time you express your needs, and sometimes the ultimate sign is the silence. When she stops engaging, stops fighting, stops caring. Because hate still carries energy. Disrespect is apathy dressed in politeness. It's not that she argues with you. It's that she doesn't care enough to bother. And that, brother, is when you know. Do you feel it now? That unsettling truth, that weight pressing against your chest, whispering the one thing you've tried to ignore. She doesn't respect you. And maybe she hasn't for a long time. But here's the twist. She didn't just wake up one morning and lose respect for you. It didn't evaporate out of nowhere. Respect erodes slowly, like stone worn away by dripping water. Maybe it started when you stopped standing your ground. When you started saying yes just to avoid conflict. When you began tiptoeing around her moods, sacrificing your needs to keep the peace. Somewhere along the line, you taught her how to treat you. And the most dangerous lie a man can tell himself is, if I just keep loving her enough, she'll come around. No, brother, she won't. Because love without respect is pity at best and contempt at worst. And a woman who pities you can never truly desire you. Her attraction dies not when you stop being nice, but when you stop being anchored in who you are. Let's talk about presence. Masculine presence isn't about noise. It's not about being loud, cocky, or aggressive. It's a gravity, a stillness, a certainty in your own worth that makes her sit up straighter when you enter the room. Not out of fear, but out of reverence. When she respects you, she doesn't roll her eyes when you speak. She listens. She doesn't challenge your boundaries. She honors them. And she doesn't make you compete with her phone or her friends or the fantasy of some other man. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Respect is the foundation of love. Not passion, not chemistry, not butterflies. Without respect, love becomes performance. A show she puts on for comfort, for convenience, or for optics. And if she's performing, you'll always feel it in your bones. You're not here just to be useful. You're not her emotional crutch, her ATM, her therapist, or her backup plan. You're a man. And when a woman truly sees that, feels that, she moves differently. She chooses her words with care. She looks to you for direction, not because she's weak, but because she trusts your strength. She doesn't try to win the argument because she values the relationship more than her ego. She challenges you, yes, but not to break you, to sharpen you, to build with you, not against you. But if she mocks you in public, if she belittles your ambitions, if she uses intimacy as a weapon, if she makes you feel like an option in your own relationship, then brother, she does not respect you. And worse, she's not afraid to show it. And if she's not afraid to show it, that means you've made it safe for her to violate your dignity without consequence. In ancient samurai culture, honor was not just a word, it was a lifeline. A man without honor was exiled, forgotten, his name erased. Because honor, like respect, was not something others gave. It was something you embodied. And when it was gone, so too was his place in the world. You may not live in feudal Japan, but the principle hasn't changed. If you allow your self-respect to die quietly in the corner of your relationship, you will become invisible. Not just to her, but to yourself. And you'll wonder where the fire went. You'll wonder why she looks at other men with more curiosity than she ever showed you. You'll wonder why she only respects you when you leave, or when another woman shows interest. Because sometimes, it's only when you disappear that she realizes the gravity of your presence. Let that sink in. You do not get respect by begging for it. You get it by becoming the kind of man who walks away from anything that insults his soul. By becoming the kind of man whose silence hurts more than his presence. By understanding that peace without respect is slavery, and that real love cannot survive in a place where one person is forced to shrink so the other can feel tall. And if you're thinking, but I love her, ask yourself this. Do you love her more than you love your own reflection? Not your mirror reflection, your soul's reflection. The man you were meant to be before you forgot your worth. Because at some point, she stopped loving that man. But that doesn't mean you have to. Here's the uncomfortable but liberating truth. You teach people how to treat you. And if she doesn't respect you, maybe it's time to stop asking why and start asking why you stayed. Respect isn't something she gives you when she's in the mood. It's not a reward you earn by being agreeable. It's the non-negotiable price of admission into your world. And if she can't pay that price, she doesn't get to stay. So stand up. Speak less. Move with purpose. Reclaim your dignity, piece by piece. Because once a man rediscovers his self-respect, he becomes dangerous again, not with violence, but with clarity, with calm, with standards so high that they echo through his silence. That's what she'll remember. Not your desperate texts, not your soft apologies, but the day you stopped chasing and started leading. She doesn't respect you. Maybe she never did. Or maybe, just maybe, she was waiting for you to finally become the man worthy of it. And now, the choice is yours. If this video hit you deep, it's because you were meant to hear it. Drop a comment. Share it with the brother who needs to wake up. And remember, you are not disposable, replaceable, or invisible. You are a man, and when you know who you are, everything changes. Subscribe for more real talk on masculinity, power, purpose, and the unfiltered path of becoming. This isn't just a channel, it's a movement, and it starts with you.